Welcome, one and all.
This is the greatest show.
Check out this week's live stream.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm Jimmy, and welcome to my house.
Ballcat Nation. Assemble.
Let's go. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Hot Stove Desk. We are doing a hot stove watch as we track the latest news. I guess the two things that we're running with this morning right off the bat is the continued story with Max Scherzer close to a deal with the Mets. He's been close to a deal for going on 12 hours now. And the thought that the Yankees might non-tender a contract to Gary Sanchez and try to make a trade for Jacob Stallings from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So welcome in, everybody. We're going to be keeping track of the deals. You see right over my shoulder here, we got deals today. I expect that to fill up during our stream. Jon Heyman just tweeting out that Scherzer and the Mets are finalizing a $130 million 3-year deal. That is right now, right as we go live, $130 million for 3 years. So let's update the text. You guys that are with me live, let me know what you think. Max to Mets, $130 million, 3 years per Heyman. In the first of what could be many deals to drop today, the deal is done. Max Scherzer is going to the Mets. That is it. It is in from Heyman right now. The deal, Heyman tweeting out, it is done. Expect to see, everybody else follow suit. We trust Heyman here. We will feel happy when Passan tweets it, but this is a big one. Mets fans, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? You got to feel pretty good about this. Hit that like if you're excited about Max Scherzer to the Mets. As soon as we go live, boom, done. That's all we needed to do was go live, apparently. Max Scherzer to the Mets. Breaking news. There it is. We're going to watch and see everybody else try to follow that up and I guess confirm it for us, as this is the first of many deals that could go down. Mark, that we got, I'll pull it up. I trust Jon Heyman. This is not a Bob Nightingale situation. We trust in Mr. Jon Heyman, and that is the word from him. Let me pull up the tweet. You guys can see it if I can get this thing to open. Here we go. Let's get it. Right there. Max Scherzer and the Mets finalizing a $130 million 3-year deal. Minor details to go only. So this is coming. This is coming in. Mets fans, let me know how you feel. Are you excited about this? It's a lot of money. $43 million a year is a lot of money. I mean, wow, it's a lot of money. How am I feeling, pal? I'm hanging in there. I have a ton of liquid. I've got water. I've got lunch. This is what I planned lunch would be today because I don't know how long we're going to be here. I kind of figured the Max Scherzer news would drag out a little bit longer, but it's going down. It is going down out of the National League West. Yes, he is. We can come back to this, but first, let's take a look at Max Scherzer, the guy who's going to apparently the New York Mets. We'll watch him strike out some batters here. The only question I have, this is the only question mark. Is he a bulldog? Is he a great pitcher? Yes. He checks off all the boxes. But the only thing I worry about with Max Scherzer is that in the NLCS last year, he had a dead arm. He couldn't go in Game 6. All right, he couldn't go. That's the only thing I worry about with Max Scherzer is that he was out of gas. That's the only thing I worry about for you Mets fans is that is looming out there. That's a big deal. You're not getting him to win 100 games during the regular season, Mets fans. You're getting him to win the World Series. That's the goal here. Championship. Win the World Series. And you need him. You need that arm to still be functional come October. So we have our very first deal. Again, deals today. First one up, Scherzer. 3 years, 130. That's the first deal up. And we'll keep track of that. I have a feeling we will see more deals, but we will keep an eye on that. Let me move around so that I'm not hanging in my graphics. Max Scherzer, again, let's take a look at his numbers. We take a look at what Max Scherzer can bring. Listen, right, great pitcher. I don't think we're all doubting that. No one's going to say that Max Scherzer is not a great pitcher. 7-0 with the Dodgers. Was having a great season, even in a non-competing situation with the Washington Nationals. He'll go to the Mets. He'll compete. He's going to try to win there. He is going to he should give you a good season. It's going to be his age 37 season. I still feel good about Max Scherzer at age 37 out there. Age 38, you know what? I feel like we got to take it year by year with Max Scherzer right now. Let's see how he's feeling at the end of his age 37 season. Then we'll make a judgment on what we can expect in the 2023 season from Max Scherzer. But they backed the truck up, man. You got to give it. Listen, the Mets were not going to be stopped with this one. They get their man. They wanted him bad. They said, screw Robbie Ray. Forget Carlos Rodon. Marcus Stroman, get out of here. We want Max Scherzer, and they're going and getting Max Scherzer. You got to think, Marco, I agree with you on the whole opt-outs thing. The word is, Luis, that it is being finalized. There are minor details only to go. It does feel like you should have some options. I can't imagine Scherzer's going to go if they're club options. They're probably player options, which if he's getting $43 million a year, he's not opting out of the player options. I mean, think about what the Dodgers did with the Bauer deal. They gave him the player options. He's not opting out of any of that. At least Bauer not going to opt out after year 2. If this deal for Scherzer has options, player options, he's not going to opt out after the first year. There's no way. You've got Heyman talking about it. So here's what we've got. We've got Max Scherzer finalizing $130 million 3-year deal. So let me update. Let me make sure that we're being accurate on the description here, because we do have, let's see, Max Scherzer finalizing. Let's make sure we're accurate. Finalizing the deal. But it's been close. Mark Feinstein tweeting out, the Mets and Max Scherzer are working on details. Ken Rosenthal tweeting out, source confirms Mets deal with free agent. Let's see, $330 million. So it is, and Andy Martino had this about 10 or 15 minutes ago that the deal was close. So Rosenthal tweeting, confirming Mets finalizing deal. So the deal is being finalized. Scott Boras is a tough deal for any GM, no doubt about it. The deal is being finalized. So we won't, okay, we will hold off on saying done. Raul, thank you for the super chat. We will hold off on saying done. We will continue with the language that we're seeing on Twitter, that it is being finalized. In my mind, what's going to stop it at this point? At this point, what will stop it? So Max Scherzer working on some of the minor details to get this deal done. Apollo Sports, the Mets coming through strong. What else can they do is the question. They needed to go and get starting pitching. That was it. That was a big piece of this. They needed to go. They needed to get the starting pitching. We look at the rotation. Now, we don't have Max on this list, but we could add him into this. You have DeGrom. You have Max Scherzer. That's one hell of a 1-2 punch right there. You go DeGrom and Scherzer, 1 and 2. Then you've got Taijuan Walker right behind. Then you got to piece it together, quite frankly. After the top 3, I don't know how jacked you feel about Carlos Carrasco or David Peterson or Tyler McGill. Mets fans that are here, how you feeling about that? I feel like there's another move to come. They got to do They need another piece. They need another piece. Scherzer's going to eat up a lot of that salary, but they need some more. Kingstow, we still need 2 pen arms, in my opinion. Karachi is the number 3. Who's Karachi? I would love to announce that. I would love to announce J-Ram. That we're gonna wait and see on that. The 2 best pitchers in the game, 2 of the best pitchers in the game. I'll put it that way. I think they are 2 of the best. They were, DeGrom's number 1. DeGrom is number 1. Max Scherzer is certainly in the top 10. Is he top 5? Is Max Scherzer top 5? He's right there. He's certainly right there. They do need more. They again, you love Scherzer, DeGrom, Walker makes you feel good, but Carrasco, Peterson, and McGill. Listen, if those are your 4 and your 5, if you're going through Carrasco, Peterson, McGill, whoever else you bring in there for your 4 and 5, you're in good shape. If you're starting out with Scherzer and DeGrom at the top, because look what happened in the postseason. Look what happened in the postseason with the Astros. They lost their ace, and they were behind the 8 ball. The Braves, Charlie Morton went down, and it was kind of freak out time. But luckily, they had Max Fried. That's why you need to have a couple of aces at the top of your rotation. That's why I'm glad the Blue Jays, if they're not going to get Robbie Ray back, go get Kevin Gausman, because if you get into the postseason and somebody's hurt or somebody's got a dead arm or somebody's underperforming, you have another elite arm to fall back on. And if things are going your way and everybody's healthy, then you're just going to tear through the postseason. That's what you need to have, and that is what the Mets are going to have. Now, the Dodgers are going to be in a spot because all of a sudden the Dodgers look like they had a ton of pitching with the Bauer uncertainty, with Scherzer looking like he's going to the Mets. The Dodgers all of a sudden need some pitching, and they listen, having Buehler and Arias at the top of the rotation is good, but then after that, you've got, who knows when Dustin May's going to be back. You're going to find out what you got in Tony Gonsolin. Is David Price back in the rotation for the Dodgers? So we're going to see what happens there. John Morosi tweeting out, Max Scherzer is nearing a 3-year deal. Let's fix this too. One more thing we want to fix. And let's make sure it fits on screen. Beautiful. Who is the Jays opening starter? I mean, that's a good question. I think the opening starter is probably going to be, I mean, it's a toss-up between Barrios and Gausman. It's a complete toss-up. It really just depends on who performs well in spring training. They will both be worthy of it. Here's a bigger question. Mets, who's your opening day starter? Who's the opening day starter for the Mets? I think it's probably DeGrom, but is it Scherzer? Who's your opening day starter, Mets? Probably DeGrom. Yankees will make moves. I do think the Yankees are not going to completely sit out the offseason. Robert is sad as a Dodgers fan. You'll make some moves. Listen, if the Dodgers are not getting Max Scherzer, they got to go all in on Corey Seager. Get on the phone, get Corey Seager done. Do not let him go to the Rangers. Joel Sherman tweeting, no deal final yet, but Mets and Scherzer are working on finer details on a 3-year deal. I heard earlier it was $129 million range or $43 million a year. Heyman says it's $130. So probably, listen, if they're working out deals, it's probably incentives. It's probably things like if he finishes in the top 3 of the Cy Young or wins the Cy Young or makes 33 starts. Or I have a feeling there's probably some incentives like that. Maybe Scherzer wants to get some no-trade teams, wants to put a no-trade list together. So I think it's probably details like that. And of course, pending a physical. That's why all of the deals are going to get done today, is because we've got to get the physicals in before the 12/1 CBA expiration. Martha, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Over 300 in here right now. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you spending it's Monday, right? Is it Monday? Your Monday morning if you're out west. Monday afternoon, lunchtime here. We're going to hang out and we're going to watch the hot stove. We have this deal with Scherzer getting close. So we're going to see what happens there. We're going to see if Seager can come in. I got a few hours to kill, so let's hang out. Let's talk some baseball. You guys come in with your comments. If you see something, say something. That's why my Twitter handle is up there. You guys can listen. You can say things in the chat, and there are some of you who have been around for a while, and I trust what you say. There are other people that will come in, spam something, and bounce. All right. So if you see something, tweet it at me. Tweet it at me at Jim Riley Live. Just when you see it, comment at Jim Riley Live. Send it to me. Jeff Passan tweeting, if Max Scherzer's deal gets done as the Mets expect, the average annual value will be somewhat in the $43 million a year range, a staggering jump of nearly 20% from the current record AAV of $36 million held by Garrett Cole. Huge number, especially for a 37-year-old. Jeff Passan, yes, Jeff Passan with facts. All right, he's going to set the record for AAV. He's 37 years old. This is a 3-year deal. If I was a Mets fan, I would be much more comfortable with 2 years. However, that may be the difference between the Mets and the Dodgers. That third year could be what gets the deal done. Dan Johnson, no way the Braves don't sign Freeman. Now, Dan Johnson, here's the thing about the Braves. They better get their boy locked up, because if the Dodgers, they lose out on Scherzer, and let's say Corey Seager goes to the Rangers, which is a very real sequence of events that could go down. You don't think the Dodgers are coming hard for Freddie Freeman? Of course they will. We don't have any news, Rich. They're going to. It's the lockouts. The way the league is operating right now, the lockout's coming. The lockout is definitely going to go down. Is he worth all that money? I don't think so. Fernando, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I don't mean to throw shade on any deal or anybody or anyone. I'm not trying to do that, but I do think it's a bit much. I do think it is a bit much. I think that there would be a better way to just listen. For $43 million for 3 years, every year, they could think about this. For that much money, they could get Robbie Ray. They could probably get Ray and Rodon for that same amount of annual value. And that's where you need to almost step back. And again, I'm not trying to pour cold water on the situation, not trying to take the air out of the room, but think about it for a second. Take a step back. Would you rather have, for the same AAV, Robbie Ray and Carlos Rodon, or just Max Scherzer for 3 years? What would you rather have? Again, not trying to be Debbie Downer, not trying to be a wet blanket or soiled diaper. That's what I'm saying. Not our money, no doubt about it, Mr. Danny Boy. It is not your money, but it does prevent you from maybe making another deal. Is that deal, does it prevent them from bringing in another pitcher? Do they now roll with what they have? Does it prevent them from bringing Javi Baez back? Does it prevent them from getting into the Chris Bryant sweepstakes? You could have Chris Bryant and Robbie Ray potentially for that AAV. Again, not trying to throw cold water on the whole thing. I'm just saying. Just feels like they're being aggressive. They've got the money. They want to spend it. When you want something, you don't care how much it costs. And that's where we're at. Dodgers getting Kershaw back. We'll see. They might now all of a sudden it looked like a reunion was unlikely, but now it could be very, very much in the cards that Kershaw ends up back with the Dodgers. So we're waiting on the finalization. So here's what we do. Let's do this. I don't want to throw anybody off. Let's go Scherzer, and we're going to go finalizing. So that deal could get done. There's going to be deals today, guys. There are going to be deals today. Kershaw will end up in Texas. Rybra very well could. Who do the Red Sox sign? Again, I don't think the Red Sox are going to go crazy with any of these top 10 free agents. I think you're going to see them add some pieces to the bullpen. Maybe they make a trade. I don't buy the Javi Baez thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that maybe a Chris Taylor type is their big splash. Maybe I still love the idea of a reunion with Lester and Joe Kelly going back to Boston. I just love that. I think Kyle Schwarber makes a lot of sense. I mean, Red Sox fans, would you consider this a successful offseason if you go Schwarber, Taylor, and Lester? Maybe Rodon. Maybe they get in the Rodon sweepstakes. We'll see. Steve, what's up, man? JD Snow for the What are you talking about, Steve? Yanks ending up with Simmons. I saw that tweet earlier today, and I replied to that saying that is not the news that Yankee fans want to hear. The Yankee fans today wake up, they check Twitter, they see that the Mets are finalizing a deal for Max Scherzer, and they see that the Yankees are a potential fit for Andrelton Simmons, and that they might non-tender a contract to Gary Sanchez. How are you feeling, Yankee fan? How is Yankee Land doing? Yankee Land has got to be burning and on fire if that's the news they wake up to. Oh, and that Seager is linked to the Rangers. This is not the offseason for the Yankees. Gad, as a Sox fan, I want Schwarber, Kelly, Knievel, and Ray. Schwarber, I think so. I would love that for the Red Sox. Kelly, I would love it. Knievel, I do think you need to bring in some competition for Barnes there at the back of that rotation, because I don't know if he just needs some competition to light a fire to pitch better, or he just isn't the guy. So you need to bring in another option. Corey Knievel's a great idea. I don't know if Robbie Ray's going to be in the cards. I feel like when you get to the point of 5 and 6 year deals at 25 AAV, I think the Red Sox are going to be out on those types of deals. I think Schwarber would be the big ticket on that list that you just gave me, and I think Schwarber would probably be a 3-4 year. Schwarber just smells like a 4-year deal, $20 million a year kind of thing. 4 years, $80 million or something like that. And you can structure that so you don't start getting into that 20 plus AAV till the last year or two, because maybe you put a little bit towards the back. How do the Jays replace Marcus Semien, Jason? They have got to address that. No doubt about it. This team, the Blue Jays are not going out this year to just try to compete. They're going out there to try to win the American League East or be a championship contender. Maybe you get in that way by being the wild card, because the Rays do the Ray thing again, and they win 100 games without even trying. So the Rays are going to do their thing. The Jays are going to try to be competing in that. And listen, the Blue Jays had just hear me out. They had a championship caliber team last year. They had events go on earlier in the year that prevented them. They were 5 games away from just walking into the playoffs with a wild card spot. They had a fielding error with Marcus Semien, spiked the ball with 2 outs in the 9th inning that continued a game that the Jays ended up losing. George Springer missed half the season. They had a couple of walkathon games against Seattle and Tampa where they walked everybody that came up to the plate. They walked the bases loaded, and then they walked the bases loaded again. So the Blue Jays, just like that, missed the playoffs. If they get into the playoffs with the rotation that was clicking, with how Barrios was pitching, with how Robbie Ray was pitching, they were both healthy and ready to go. Andrew, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Andrew. They had the pieces to go. They just missed it. And big relief for the rest of the American League, because the Blue Jays would have been a problem. So if they want to make another run to try to be a World Series team, what the Blue Jays need to do is they have to replace that production. They have Gausman. If they don't get Ray back, Gausman can be 75 to 85% of what Robbie Ray was last year. And you'll take that, because Alek Manoah, you get a full year with Alek Manoah. He's going to take a step forward. You have more time with George Springer. It can even out. But you need to somehow replace that Semien production, okay? Kevin Biggio should get second base back, be good to go. Go out there, get in the Chris Bryant sweepstakes, make a trade for Matt Chapman, make a trade for J-Ram, do something. Don't sit this out. Right now is your opportunity, because in a couple of years, they're going to have to open up and pay Bo big money, Vladdy big money. So the window to win a championship with a financially not overwhelming situations right now for Toronto. Let's see. Again, you guys follow me while we're live. I'll follow you back. So I do see a couple of you follow me. I'll hit you right back and tweet at me. If you see something, say something. We will watch. We're going to watch this. We're going to look. What we're looking for today, we're looking for Scherzer, getting that deal done with the Mets. We're looking for Corey Seager's landing spot. Corey Seager is going to get done today. Whether that happens while we're live streaming now or if we have to come back on later tonight, this could be one of 3 or 4 streams today. Listen, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I'll go for a while. But there is, there's a real chance that I'm here so that we can react to deals as they're happening in real time. Waffle Man, Rangers getting Seager. I mean, listen, the Rangers are making a push. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of smoke coming out of Texas with Corey Seager involved. Marco, you would rather have Max at 3 than Gausman at 5. I don't know. Jeff Jones, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I got to move some things around here. This doesn't work. Because I can't have you guys subscribing and it being blocked by this. So let's move this over here. Let's move this over here. Sorry, guys, while we do a little housekeeping. Let's put this right here. And let's put this right here. That's a little bit better. And then we'll just move what we need to move as we get going, as some more deals, actually, we can move this over here. And we should be good with the alert box on that. Let me make sure. Yeah, there we go. We're good. Nuke Blaster, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Sports. Sorry, guys. Thank you for bearing with me while I take care of some housekeeping with all that stuff. So, and again, let me get right here because I don't want to be hanging out behind my stuff. Welcome in, David. Good to see you. Robert, do you think the Jays will win the East? I think the Rays are going to win the East. I think the Rays are going to win the East. If the Blue Jays can re-sign Robbie Ray and trade for Jose Ramirez, then I think the Blue Jays can win the East. But if they don't do that, I think the Rays are going to win the East. The Rays are just a perennial team. I feel like they just fall out of bed and they win the American League East. They fall out of bed and they win 100 games. The Rays do, or close to it. Kyle, thank you. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in. Sox8372, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Sox8372. Happy to have you here. Wilfredo, thank you for the love, man. I appreciate that. Kyle, Mad Max to New York. I didn't see that coming. Are you being sarcastic? Liam, what's up, man? Good to see you in. Again, the Mets wanted their guy. They're going out and getting him. They don't want him to go to the Dodgers. I mean, listen, here's the deal. If the Mets wake up every morning, they look in the mirror and they say, we are a championship contender, which they obviously do if they're doing this, they are not only competing with the National League East teams, the Phillies and the Braves, they are also competing with the other championship contenders, and that being the Dodgers. So if the Mets want to be in a spot, if they get to October and they're going up against the Dodgers, they don't want to be kicking themselves because they had a chance to get Max Scherzer, but Max is on the Dodgers, throwing smoke, lighting them up. So the Mets are not only competing with those National League East teams, the Mets are waking up in the morning saying, we are a championship contending team. Our goal is to win the World Series. So we're not only competing with them, we're competing with the other teams in the National League because we got to get to the World Series and we don't want Scherzer on the Dodgers. So part of this, if finding ways to just kind of track this and how this makes sense, it's wise of them to get somebody off of the Dodgers. Anthony, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation, Anthony. Midwest, Steven Matt's agent is an a-hole. Well, I mean, hey, he's I don't know him personally, but, the move he pulled with the Mets sure was an interesting one. Cole, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation, Cole. Happy to have you here. I wonder if I can make that a little bit bigger. You guys are what's important here. Let me see if I can make that alert box a little bit bigger. So when you subscribe, it's just you own more of the screen. I'm going to try that. A little bit bigger. All right. That should do that. You guys are Ballcat Nation. You are what's important. Spotlight on you guys when you sub. Siciliano, Yankees are taking forever to pull off a move. I hear you, man. Siciliano, I know you're a Yankee fan. Tell me how it feels this morning to wake up, see the Mets breaking this news, and on top of it, you've got the only tweets that we see about the Yankees is there's interest in Andrelton Simmons and that Gary Sanchez could be non-tendered a contract. This is not a good morning for the Yankees fans. The Angels' next move, I mean, they're supposed to be meeting with Robbie Ray at some point. Jonah, you could see Castellanos with Seattle. I think Castellanos could get done today. I think Seager could get done today. I think Story could get done today. I do think the Yankees, listen, I'm not going to sleep on the Yankees one bit. I think that they're just being smart with their money. They're being smart with the money. I'm not going to sleep on the Yankees. I think last year's Yankee team massively underperformed. You give them a year with Severino back, a full year with Severino, plus you throw in the fact that they're going to get a new hitting coach. Marcus Thames was terrible. Okay, awful. Joey Gallo looked like a little leaguer when he went to the Yankees. Like you actually took somebody out of Williamsport in August, threw him into the Yankee lineup in September and said, hit the ball. Like that's what Marcus Thames did to Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo's not that bad. So you get Thames out of there. You get Gallo maybe with somebody that he can work with. Gallo starts hitting bombs again. So the Yankees, I think, will be better, but they need to figure Gleyber Torres out. They need to bring in a lefty bat, whether it's go nuts on Freeman, re-sign Rizzo, bring in Schwarber. They need, I would like, for Yankee fans, what you want another lefty bat. Seager, whatever it is, get a lefty bat back in there. Kyle, what's going on, man? David Phelps is back. Rick Venema, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for subscribing. Phelps is back on a minor league deal. That's good. I just knew Gallo wouldn't go over well. Anybody that's going to strike out a lot is not going to go over well in New York. But he's got to make up for it by still posting an OPS close to 400. Because, listen, if Joey Gallo can hit 250, his OPS can be pushing 400. And he can hit 40 home runs. That works. Joey Gallo hitting 150 and not hitting home runs doesn't work. So you got to get somebody in there that can get Joey Gallo right. Oh, Rodney, you can see Seager to Texas. Is Texas one of the places where they could pair the Seager brothers? Maybe. Kyle Seager would have to take a pay cut to do that. I don't even know if they want to. Do Kyle and Corey Seager want to play together on a team? I don't even know if that's... Is that a thing? Kyle, yeah, another arm in the pen. It's good. It's a good small move. Do I see the Jays going after Kenley Jansen? I don't. I really don't. I don't think the Blue Jays are going to dump a ton of money into the closer role. They didn't do it last year with Liam Hendricks. They had Liam Hendricks in. They were talking to him. They didn't do it. They went the cheap route with Kirby Yates, knowing that Jordan Romano was the future. Ron, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Ron. So you have a situation where just look at what they did last year with their mentality on the closer role. So I don't see that happening. Gabriel, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. And Strike Blitz, thank you for joining it, being a member, taking the next step. I love all my subs. I love everybody that is here. Even more so, if you become a member, if you make that investment in the channel, I appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. Ballcap Nation Gold gives you the exclusive badge. It's cheap. It's like $2 a month, right? I think is what I priced it at. And you get access to the exclusive Ballcap Sports emojis. Every month that you are a member of the Gold group, you level up to a new badge. Ultimately, if you're 6 months in with at least the Gold, you get the red badge that Kyle is sporting so handsomely. Strike Blitz, you're pumped for the Mets. Listen, now we're waiting for it to the finalization, so we can get off the finalizing stuff. We can make it official. That's what we're waiting for now. Jose, what do you think about the Angels right-handed pitcher they picked? Lorenzen, I don't really know a whole lot about him. He's not a big name guy. Jade Long, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. He's not going to solve the problems. What's going to solve the problems for the Angels is Robbie Ray, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman. That's going to solve your problems. You want to get Mike Trout and Ohtani in the playoffs, you got to do that. Jake, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Everybody, make sure to hit that like. If this is your favorite time of the year, like it is mine, hit that like. I love this stuff. I could talk about it all day, whether it's my team or not. Mr. LEJ300, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Happy to have you here. Welcome to our community. Happy to have you here. Trinan could close, and he's got one more year with the Dodgers, right? Ed Young, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Ed, I'm happy to have you here. We're hanging out at 108 likes. We have 579 viewers. Let's do this. I'm going to ask something big, but Ballcap Nation, I know you got big things. Can we go from 108? This is a big ask. Can we go from 108 to 200? Yesterday, we were jumping 50 and 60 likes in the time span of like a minute or two. Can we go from 108 to 200? Ballcap Nation, you guys in the chat, I know you got it in you. Hit that like if you haven't hit your like yet. Let's take this thing right to 200. Let's get real about it. Last night, we got to 679 likes. We got to, at some point, try to pass that, but we got to go in steps. 108, can we get to 200? In the snap of a finger, can you do it? I think you can. I do think Trinan would close for LA. That would make sense. And thank you for the super chat. Ohms, the Simeon deal confuses me. This seems like it was all about money and nothing really to do with winning. Am I missing something? He could have taken less to go to a contender. Well, we know the Blue Jays were in on Marcus Simeon for less years. So he took the years. Obviously, it's about the money. This is about the money, and I also have a feeling that the Rangers probably sold Marcus Simeon on their plan. We're going to go out, we're going to add to the pitching. They go out and get John Gray. We're going to add to the depth. We go get Calhoun, and we're going to get another, whether it's Story or Seager, we're going to make another move. So that is what we're looking at here. That is probably what they sold Marcus Simeon on, in my opinion. That's what I think they did. We're at 176. We are 184, 16 likes away from jumping from 100 to 200 in a time span of 2 minutes. Ballcap Nation is legendary. I know you guys got that in you. Do I think the Mets trade for Chapman? I don't think so. With the Eduardo Escobar deal that the Mets just pulled off, I don't think so. I don't think you need to. I don't think that that's a need. Chapman... Listen, Chapman's got an amazing glove. And his arm is one of the best. Thank you for the glitch. I glitch. That happens. Santiago, Sam, dude, your name is amazing here. I'm trying to read it. Today, Junior. Maya the Betches, I'm sorry, man. Thank you for subscribing. Again, Sam and Santiago as well. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Appreciate it. I think Freddie Freeman could sign today. I think this is nuts. We are over 200. Again, guys, thank you. Jumping from 100 to 200. Who does that? You know who does that? Ballcap Nation does that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Brent, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, my friend. I'm glad to have you here. Welcome to our community. When is this going to go final? That is the question. Mark, I see you mentioning me. What do you got? Joel Sherman tweeting out, the Scherzer deal is completed. The Mets payroll would project around $265, and I don't think they are done. Of course, they can trade some surplus money, but with Scherzer and potentially Seager off the Dodgers, Mets almost certainly become the number one payroll. So that with $265, when Scherzer is completed, how much more are they going to go over? How much more are they going to spend? That's my point. Can they get a Baez deal done? Do you even care about Baez anymore at this point, Mets fans? Mr. Repo, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Brent, thank you for subscribing. Let's go Seattle Mariners get Story, Stroman, and see ya. That's it. That's in play, Jake. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Right now, the Rangers and the Mets are sort of dominating the headlines, but don't sleep on the Mariners. Don't sleep on the Mariners. Natalie, you are so mad. Why are you mad? Are you mad about Scherzer? What are you mad about? You're the blind beard. You're done with Javi Baez. Andy Martino tweeting, Mets and Scherzer is happening per source. Very last details being worked on. He says the Mets are getting him. David, I think they are going to have a $300 million payroll. Kyle, always give the Mets crap for not doing anything. They finally stepped up and made their team better. They are better. They are doing it. I really take a step back for 1 second. Not trying to suck the air out of the room or throw cold water on the situation. For the same amount of money, you could have probably had Robbie Ray and Chris Bryant, or Robbie Ray and Marcus Stroman. For the same amount of money, is Max Scherzer that important? Jake, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation, Jake. Giancarlos Slim, what are your thoughts about the Yanks for this offseason? I think they're lying in the weeds. They're waiting. I think they're going to make some smart moves. I think they will be spending smart money. They're not going crazy on all these players right now because, listen, they already got Garrett Cole at $36 million. They got Stanton's over $30 million. You want to re-sign Judge. Judge is a free agent at the end of the year. You're going to have to probably save $30 million a year for Judge. So you're going to have 3 players in that $30 million. You can't go crazy right now. You got to remember Judge is a prime piece there. So you got to re-sign Judge. So they got to be smart with their money. That's why, listen, I put out my top 10 free agents predictions, and I took heat from Yankee fans, all mad that I did not put a single top 10 free agent on the Yankees. And it's just the money. It's really the money. Now, I do think Corey Seager, if Seager doesn't, I thought Seager was going to go back to the Dodgers, and if it wasn't the Dodgers, he would go to the Yankees. But this Rangers thing is really picking up some steam. They don't want to give up a draft pick. Talking about the Mets for Robbie Ray, certainly. But I don't think Rodon was QO'd. If I remember right, I don't think the White Sox offered Carlos Rodon. Luke, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. So you could go and get Rodon and Baez for the same amount of money. Okay, so if we're not doing Ray, we're talking Rodon. You could go get Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant was a player that was traded, so he doesn't have a qualifying offer attached. But yeah, good point about the pick. However, dude, picks in the MLB draft are so hit and miss. They're so hit and miss. And again, with the picks, they don't lose a first-round pick. You cannot lose your highest pick. You lose a pick in the second round. Waffleman, do I think the Rangers could get Robbie Ray? I think that's in play. Strike Blitz, I just don't think the Mets have a budget at this point. They are going to spend whatever it takes to get what they want. I'm with you. That's what they're showing. Rodon, if healthy, is a top 5 pitcher. Rodon from Strike Blitz. Rodon this year was great. Rodon, I think he fits in your number 2 spot of a rotation. I love him at the top of a rotation. I don't think he's a 1. I think he's a 2. I think he is, I don't know, I wouldn't go as high as top 5, but I would say he's in the top 25. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. I'm telling you, Scherzer ain't worth $43 million for 3 years. Tyler, we will see. Let me move out of the way. We will see how that plays out. Time will tell on that. Mets also have 2 first-round picks. Let's see. Josh, Robbie Ray or Luis Castillo to the Dodgers? Yeah, that's a good point. Dodgers can get in on Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's going to be meeting with the Angels. The Angels, for some reason, are not getting that done in a timely manner. So Robbie Ray hasn't even met with the Angels yet. And so Ray might not get done. Dodgers could swoop in there. Listen, you got to strike while the iron's hot. Andy Martino 2 minutes ago. Source, Mets in agreement with Scherzer. Done deal from Andy Martino. What else do we have? What's Passan say? Passan is tweeting about The CBA, MLB, and MLBPA are meeting in Texas to try to strike a new collective bargaining agreement before the current one expires on Wednesday at midnight. So the two sides trying to work something out. Please do. Please do. I don't want the fans to turn off. Even if it doesn't cost games, you know there are going to be fans that can get ticked off about this. Jake, I think the Braves are going to do something. It's just a lot of times the market's got to settle with some of these big names. And the Braves are going to do something. I still feel the Braves are going to get Freddie Freeman back. I do. I believe that. Let's see. The same AAV in term, would you rather have the Jays with Gausman or Ray? Honestly, I would pick Ray. But listen, this is not a perfect world. The Blue Jays might feel like they cannot afford Ray. The Blue Jays might feel like they didn't have a good chance. They might have felt like they had an even odd at getting Gausman or Ray. And Gausman, they were able to get done first. Heyman tweeting. Jeff Passan tweeting. Max Scherzer's deal with the Mets is done. Done deal. Max Scherzer to the Mets. Done. It is done. 3 years. What's the number? $130 million. It is done. Boom. Scherzer is a Met. Officially done. Let's check Twitter. Let's put a few links out there. See if we can get some more people to come on in, spend some time here, talk about the deal. $43.3 AAV, breaking the record AAV of 36 by Garrett Cole. I think I missed somebody. Jack and Ray has subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, guys. I don't think I acknowledged you when you subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Mets are going crazy and are contributing to the hastening. Oh, bigger man. Let's not do that. I don't think so. You could argue that the game is healthy with all this money that's being spent. Joseph, is there honestly a chance for the Red Sox to get by? I really don't think so. I would really be surprised. Good afternoon, Derek. Good to see you in. Who do you think the Jays go after losing Simeon? I think the Blue Jays are going to get into a situation where they're going to have to either get in the Chris Bryant sweepstakes, and if Chris Bryant doesn't want to play third, the Blue Jays might have to make a trade. Didn't Bauer have the AAV record? What was Bauer's deal? That's a good question. I mean, I trust what they're putting out there right now, that Cole had it. Max Scherzer's 3-year deal is according to Mark Feinsand and Ken Rosenthal. There is an opt-out in the deal. Let's see what it is. The Mets, source confirms Scherzer done deal with the Mets with an opt-out after the second year. So an opt-out after the 2023 season. Who gets the opt-out, though? Is that a player option or is that a club option? Because that's a really big piece there. If it's a player option, he's not opting out. If it's a club option, then, hey, that's something else. So we get it done. Max gets it done. $130 million. Sergio, thank you for the super chat. Dodgers overworked him. See what he had left. Dead arm. I know. That's the deal. Matt. The deal is done. Wow. Just got to let this sort of marinate for a minute. Sergio, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That is what we're going to have to watch when he gets there. What does he have? I think he's going to come out strong. I think he's going to be good to go. But I do think that there is a very serious very serious thought that what does he have late in the year when it comes to October? What's left? That is our first deal of the day. What's next? You know more's coming. Let's take a look at the Mets rotation real quick while we now sort of have this finalized again. DeGrom, boom, heading to Queens. Scherzer, glitch. You got Scherzer, you got DeGrom at the top of that rotation. You love that, okay? That is big-time stuff right there. If they're both healthy heading into the postseason, you're going to like the Mets odds. If the two of them are 1-2 coming at you in a rotation, in a playoff series, because let's be honest, that's what this deal is for. This deal is not to get the Mets to win the NL East in 100 games. This deal is for the Mets to win the World Series. So you got DeGrom, you got Scherzer, 1-2. You like that. Walker as your number 3 is a good fit. And then you figure it out with 4 and 5. Carlos Carrasco was not good last year, but he was coming off an injury. You give him time to heal, get better. Carlos Carrasco can do something big maybe in that number 4 spot. And then the number 5 spot, you figure it out between Peterson and McGill. Boom. And you've also got Yamamoto, who they signed last year. You've got Lucchesi, who they brought in last year. So they've got options for that 4-5 spot. They got a lot of options that they can roll in there. David, you are happy. Max, a Met, now re-sign Javi, get another pitcher, Rodon or Stroman. Listen, the Mets with this deal, the next deal they make will take them to $300 million in payroll. So I think they got one more big move left. I do think they have one more big strike blitz. You like the idea of Kershaw being a Met? Maybe they get him on a 1-year deal. Johnny, good to see you, Johnny. It's been a while. I'm happy to see you back. B rotation. That's funny. So I really feel like the Mets do have one more move. I think, listen, I would like for them, if I'm putting this together, if I'm playing with funny money, if I've got $1 billion to play with, yeah, I probably want to add one more piece to the rotation, but I can't go crazy. I would love to get Javi Baez back. Maybe this is the deal. Mets fans, the Mets were waiting to get this deal done. Mets got to get Max Scherzer done, and then Javi Baez will take care of you. Who knows? I mean, Baez has been linked to the Tigers. Baez has been linked to the Red Sox. Who knows what ends up happening with Javi Baez? We could find out today what goes on with Javi Baez, and that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this stuff. But you got this rotation. It looks solid. Do I think the Braves bring Soler back? I think there's a very good chance they bring Soler back. There's your Mets rotation. I know I don't have Scherzer's name up there, but Scherzer's in the picture. Dan, the Mets deal goes to show what a billionaire does when he doesn't get his way. He totally got laser focused, blinders on, saw nothing but Max Scherzer, because I still think, yes, you got to give up a draft pick for Robbie Ray. You could have had, for the same amount of money, Robbie Ray and Javi Baez. You could have the same amount of money, Robbie Ray and Carlos Rodon. And I think that would be better. But you get Scherzer, you're going to win the World Series, but you can't be done. You can't be done, which is insane to say after they drop $43 million a year. Stuart, thank you for the super chat. Been here a day. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that, Stuart. Thank you. Waffle Man, where do I think Suzuki will go? The Braves seem close to him. The Rangers and Braves are early teams sort of out ahead. It has gotten quiet on Suzuki. I think that I thought the Mets would get Suzuki. And with this deal and the deals they made on Friday, everybody that saw my prediction on Suzuki going to the Mets, I'm backing that up big time. I think he ends up on the West Coast now. I do think he'll end up either with Seattle or San Francisco or Atlanta. Those would be my 3 teams at this point for Suzuki to land on. Those would be my final 3. Are the Astros going to get Chris Bryant? Angel? I don't know, man. I mean, look, the Astros put their best foot forward with Carlos Correa. So that's kind of what we know is their ceiling offer. Okay, what they offered Correa is the ceiling. Do they want to do that for Bryant? What would you rather have if you're an Astro fan? Chris Bryant locked up now, or Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker locked up, because you're going to have to pay the 2 of them, And if you get Chris Bryant, that means you might lose one of them. And those lefty bats are a premium right now in Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays need them desperately. The Yankees need them desperately. The teams that have them are in a good way. The Mets could use, the Mets wanted Lindor. He was the lefty bat. Dom Smith. If Dom Smith is going to be garbage, you got a situation. So the lefty bat is key, and you got two studs if you're the Astros. You got to make sure you take care of them. Giants have the money to spend on Suzuki. They do. I think the Giants could get in on him. Padres for Suzuki. Tom, maybe. I mean, trading Frazier away, I think, is the start of something. So maybe. MLB, Robbie Ray had 2 good years his whole career, and you have to give up a pick for him. I mean, it's just with the qualifying offer, it's last year. I mean, this whole thing with qualifying offer, this is what they're trying to talk about with the CBA. That's something that will probably change with the new CBA, is this whole qualifying offer mess, having to give up picks, depending on how much somebody signs for. All of that stuff is really something that's going to be worked out in the CBA. Connor, thoughts on the Cardinals? I think the Cardinals got another move in them. Dominic, Chris Taylor to the Yankees. Wouldn't be a bad play. I don't think it happens though, Dominic. But it wouldn't be a bad play. Max Scherzer has a complete no trade clause in his contract. A full no trade clause. So $265 million is the payroll. Last year, the Dodgers had $282. Strike Blitz. I think San Fran overperformed last year by a lot. Could see them crashing back down to earth. I do think that the Giants going to win 107 games again next year? Probably not. But can they compete in the National League West, be a tough team, be a good team? I think they can. Will they have a winning record? I think they can. I think the Giants can. I would say the Dodgers are the favorite to win the West, and the Giants to come in right behind them. The Padres have work to do. The Padres just feel like a mess. What are the Giants doing, Jim Turkle? I think the Giants are probably getting their ducks in a row. They had the Descalfani deal. They're working on Wood. They're working on Cobb. They're working on some deals. I think the Giants are making moves behind the scenes. Did the Yankees sign Peraza? That's a decent move. He's a decent player. 600 people here in the chat, guys. Thank you. Hit that like if you have not yet. We are pushing this thing. We jumped from 100 to 200. Obviously, we got to try to get to 300. If you're excited about Max Scherzer signing, hit that like. We got Max Scherzer watch. Sort of going to wind that down and start looking at these other deals that are going to go down. I'm sure we're going to see some more moves. Jose, the Dodgers got to be trying to get Seager back, is what I think they're doing. We are 57 likes away from 300. Hit that like if you haven't hit the like yet. We jumped from 100 to 200. We got to get this thing up to 300. Last night we did the stream. We got up to 679. Eventually we want to try to pass that, but let's get this thing over 300 first. So if you haven't hit your like yet, smash that thing. Our Knicks and Mariners will get desperate and offer Correa 8 for 304. I don't know. 38 a year. I don't know. That seems a bit rich. That seems a bit high. All the Mets fans, I'm sure, are going crazy right now. It's exciting, but again, I said it last night. This is exciting right now, but you're gonna have a hangover period. Later today or tomorrow, you're gonna look at it and be like, "How much money did we give him? Did we really give him $43 million a year for 3 years with a no trade clause? Oh my God!" There's gonna be a little bit of a hangover. But listen, I'm not trying to suck the air out of the room. I'm not trying to throw any shade or be a dark cloud or anything like that. Congratulations, Mets, you got your guy, and now they're going to be pushing, trying to get things done. What is that? Tampa, John, Tampa's going to do what they always do. They're going to sit back. They're going to make the under the radar moves, and they're going to get stuff done. They're going to win 100 games next year. That's what Tampa's going to do. Realistic package for J-Ram from the Jays. It's probably something like Gurriel, a top 5 prospect, maybe Gunnar, Alejandro Kirk, and then a prospect, in that 10 to 20 range. It's going to be steep, but I would do it because if you have J-Ram on the team, I would love for them to try to find a way to do that without giving up Gurriel. Thank you for subscribing, Seth. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Seth. I'd like for them to try to figure out a way to do that without giving up Gurriel, but if you're getting the proven talent with J-Ram, I'm okay giving up the prospects. Howland Duke, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation, Howland Duke. Thank you for being here. Anthony K, can't wait for Mark's reaction. He'll be out there with it. If I'm in the front office, what do I do next, Kyle? I'm multitasking, quite frankly. I'm multitasking. I am on the phone with Robbie Ray, trying to get him back. I'm on the phone with Cleveland, trying to get a deal done. That's my primary focus. Until Cleveland says flat out no, until Robbie Ray is on another team, my 2 priorities if I'm in the Jays front office are those 2 moves. And, I got my assistants keeping tabs on all of the B-level guys. Sergio, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that, my man. Thank you for the donation. Max couldn't find the zone in the playoffs. Dodgers, Castellanos, Ray, Freddie, Story. Dodgers will make a splash this afternoon. We'll make a trade with Cincinnati. Sergio, thank you for the super chat. That's a hot take. That's a bold prediction there. Rays to sign Brooks Raley. The Rays going out and getting a lefty arm in Brooks Raley. Great. Anytime the Rays sign a relief pitcher, it just makes me think that that's the next best relief pitcher. But Sergio, to look at your super chat again, Max had some struggles in the playoffs. Got yanked early in one of his starts. Had the dead arm thing. I do think the Dodgers do something. If the Dodgers lose out on Seager and Scherzer, they'll go hard for Freddie Freeman. I don't think they would get in on Story because I feel like they are comfortable with Lux at second and with Trey Turner at short. Michael, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Michael. No Manoah, that's for sure. Manoah's not getting traded anywhere. Castellanos, I did see that. He's looking for 7 to 8 years. Basically, he opted out. He wants to have his 30s taken care of. This is his big deal. He wants this to be his last big deal. He's in his early 30s, 29 or 30. So this is Castellanos going for his big deal. I want him to do it. Matthew's YouTube, I want him to do it. Do it. Charles, who do I think signed the Japanese superstar? Seiya Suzuki. I think it'll come down to the Braves, the Giants, and the Mariners. Mason, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Mason, I'm glad to have you here. Welcome to our community. Now, Noah must be kicking himself right now. Well, you got to wonder if Noah Syndergaard takes that deal, are the Mets as aggressive for Max Scherzer? We don't know. 11 likes away from 300, guys. Hit that like if you haven't yet. Let's get this thing over 300. Is there a team option in the Scherzer deal or just a player? I don't think that has not been made public. Let me refresh Twitter. That's not been made public. No deferred salary in Max Scherzer's 3-year contract. 43.3 straight up, making it worth the full $130 million. I think he's got deferred money coming from the Nats. I think the Nats gave him one of those goofy deals. So it is a player option. According to Joel Sherman, Scherzer can opt out after 2 years. There's no way. There's no way he's going to leave 43.3 on the table in 2024. Absolutely no way. How would that? No, not going to happen. How would he do it? Why would he do it? It would make no sense. Scherzer does have a ring. He won one with the Nats. Oh, Caleb, a terrible move. So much money. It's insane. It's a lot of money. It's a big deal. It is we are going to try to win a championship kind of deal. Now they got to go out and do it. I still think they need one more move. But putting Scherzer and DeGrom together, that's going to be tough. I'm glad my team is not in the National League East. That's all I'm going to say. Blind Beard, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the donation. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that, my man. Yeah, at age 40, he would opt out, leaving $43 million on the table. No shot. I mean, listen, think about this. This is what I'm saying. Think about it. Again, I don't mean to throw cold water on the situation, but how are the Dodgers feeling about that Trevor Bauer deal? How do you think the Yankees really, truthfully, honestly feel about that Garrett Cole deal right now? It's a tough one to swallow. At the end of the day, my team is the Blue Jays. At the end of the day, how do you think this is going to work out? Okay, if they win a World Series, won't matter. But this is one of those things. The Red Sox almost immediately were kicking themselves over that David Price contract. Luckily, they found somebody to take some of that money, or take him and take some of the money. They took some of the money, and they're splitting it with the Dodgers. Maddie, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. A lot of money for one player means they will pass up on another. So, and Zeus, that's my point. You're talking to a lot of fans don't care about the money, but the point is that means now that could be it for Baez, because maybe they prefer to bolster the rotation. They feel like they're good with the lineup, with the moves they made on Friday, and I applaud them for everything they did on Friday. Marco, I'm only jealous of the money. I wish the Blue Jays had the money to spend. I'm really not jealous of Scherzer. Are the Dodgers pushing for Ray? The Dodgers were not mentioned with Robbie Ray last night. There was a tweet about Robbie Ray and it being the Tigers, the Twins, the Angels, and the Giants were the teams that were mentioned. They were included. It's not limited to those four, but those were the four that were mentioned. This is a make or break deal by the Mets, no doubt about it, for sure. No doubt about it. This is a big deal for them. Are they able to turn this into a World Series? Because that's all that's going to matter. If Max Scherzer goes out next year and is 10-10 with an ERA of 4, but pitches lights out in the postseason, nobody's going to care. They want to win a World Series. Carlton, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Marco, team has spent almost as much money as the Mets in the last year. Not quite. Last year's payroll was around 165. This year's, I think, will be around 180. The Mets are $100 million over what the Blue Jays payroll could be if the Blue Jays keep going. The Jays are spending money. There's no doubt about it. The Jays are spending money, but they're not spending that Mets money. Ray going to the Angels. Listen, if we want Mike Trout in the playoffs, if we want Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs, then that would make sense. Chris, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, my friend. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our community. I'm glad you are here. Chris and Carlton and Maddie, the Blind Beard, Mason, Michael, Sergio, Seth, Howland, Luke, Ray, Jack, thank you all recent subscribers. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys joining. Thank you for subscribing. Mets are going in for it. Listen, the aggression, the aggressiveness, they are going for it. How close to the World Series are the Mets? When I think about the Mets, I don't think about them as instant World Series contenders, even with Max Scherzer. I think they will be contenders for the East. They're gonna be in the mix. I want to know who the manager is. Strike Blitz, you have the Robbie Ray ending up in Houston. I don't know if Houston has another big splash. Maybe they do. How about the Mets? How close are they to winning it all? All right. We'll pull the rotation up again. The rotation looks like this. You got Scherzer and you have DeGrom at the top of the rotation. 1-2. That is arguably the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball. That's big. Walker at 3. He's a good number 3. You like Taijuan Walker. Then for the 4 and 5, you have Carrasco, you have Peterson, you have McGill. You also have Yamamoto, you have Lucchesi. It's not a great group of guys, but you're talking about the 4 and the 5 in the rotation. So that's okay. Listen, you'll deal with that. So that will work. Could they improve it? They could get somebody else to make it a little bit deeper so that Carrasco, Peterson, McGill, they're fighting for the number 5 spot. And you bring somebody else in. Cedric, thank you for subscribing. FIFA Legend, thank you for subscribing. The two of you coming in the last few seconds, I appreciate you. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. So that's your rotation. The lineup from there, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look at the Mets depth chart for a second, okay? They still need to make some bullpen moves, okay? That would be good. Catcher, James McCann. It's okay. I'm a big Pete Alonso guy. Second base, you're gonna have McNeil. Come on, MLB. You gotta update this. This is brutal. So McCann at catcher, Alonso at first. Second baseman, you got McNeil. You can put Escobar there. You got Cano probably coming back. Then you've got Davis for third. You could have Escobar at third. Shortstop, Lindor. Left field, you got McNeil. Right field, you got Canna. Center field, you've got Marte. Nimmo will probably move to left. McNeil can move to second. You got Dom Smith can be your DH, and J.D. Davis, a bench guy, I guess. I mean, J.D. Davis sort of sitting there as the odd man out. So as far as it goes for the Mets with the lineup, it's not bad. It's a good squad. I'm not super high on McCann. Again, I like Alonso. I like Escobar. I like the lineup. The Mets are going to be in the mix to win the National League East. No doubt about it. The Mets are a 95-win team, I think, right now. So you give the Mets that shot if they are, and then when you get into the postseason, when you get to the playoffs, that's what who's healthy, who's hot, who's healthy, are they in position? Why is this playing? Let's take a look at Scherzer striking some people out for a minute. Jose, Owen, Frank, Rick, thank you for subscribing. Cedric, thank you for subscribing. All here in the last few seconds. So Scherzer with some strikeouts there. We take a look at Max Scherzer doing his thing. So I think the Mets are a 95-win team. I do think they are a 95-win team. I think that they will be in the mix to win the National League East. I don't see them as immediate, far and away World Series, favorites. But they're going to be up there. They are definitely going to be a competitor for the division. And if everybody's healthy, if things are going well, I think you have a situation where Scherzer, DeGrom, if you can get into a postseason series with them healthy, you're in good shape. I don't think Cedric Mullins actually gets traded, Dan. I know that was floated out there. He's got another year he's not even in arbitration yet. He's got another pre-arbitration year. The return for him would be insane. So I don't think Cedric Mullins gets traded. I don't see it happening. I think it's a long shot. I had it as a long shot trade. There are some teams that could try to make it happen, but these teams right now, they don't want to part with their prospects. So it makes it harder to get a Cedric Mullins deal done. Ralph, will Ray re-sign with the Jays? No one's ruling it out. It's just unlikely. Sean, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Sean. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our community. Glad to have you here. Any chance Baez doesn't resign with the Mets? I think there's a very good chance he doesn't resign with the Mets. We'll see. I have a feeling whether it's today or at some point down the road, we will find out where the Mets are going to shift their focus to. And if they shift their focus to, we'll find out. Are they going to stay focused on pitching, try to get another deal done, or are they going to focus on the bats? I think they've only got one more big deal, big splash kind of deal in them. And there is talk. The Twins have been linked with Robbie Ray. I would be surprised about that just because, quite frankly, I think if the Twins start out next year, if you're at June 1st and they're 10 games below 500, they could all of a sudden start trying to jettison off, Donaldson and Maeda and their other pieces. So I don't think they would want to get locked into a big contract with Robbie Ray if they are, a bad start away from going into a sell-off. Bryson, good to see you, and welcome back. Bills Mafia. Jays will make a move soon. They can't go into lock on having a hole at third and second. I do think there's a move for the Jays to be had. If the Jays, if they go out there and they make a move and they bring in Chris Taylor, or they bring in somebody like that, Chris Bryant, or we can put to bed the J-Ram rumors. We're going to be talking about J-Ram rumors until the lineup is complete and full again. What do you think the Yankees are going to do, Nicholas? I think the Yankees are going to try to be smart about bringing in a lefty bat, whether it's Corey Seager, if they get the deal done right, or it's Anthony Rizzo, bringing him back. I think odds got to be that Rizzo goes back to the Yankees. Let's see. Insanity. If I am the Twins, I focus on building prospects and maybe beat KC. I would, yeah, for real. Rocky, good to see you in, Rocky. What's going on? We got Scherzer. That's what's going on. Craig, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Happy to have you here. Again, good to see Rocky in here. Dean, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Corey Seager. That's the next one. Where is Corey Seager going to go? That is what we wait for. Kenneth, I think the Yankees should trade Judge since they are willing to stay as is. Let him win a championship. I think they gotta re-sign Judge. I do think Freeman re-signs with the Braves. Maddie, I don't think Ketel Marte is going to get traded. I think that is going to be that's a lot. Jesus, I would too. I would as well. The Padres are always in the mix to make a splash, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get something done. I don't know if you can get Javi. Matthew, I don't know if you can get Javi for just 5 years. I think he's going to want more than that. Because what that means for him is then he's going to be a free agent again at his when he's 33, and he's going to have a harder time. He could get a higher AAV for those mid-30s if he can get a deal to take him to that 8-year length. Miguel, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation, Miguel. Again, if I missed you guys, Craig, Dean, thank you guys again. What do I think the Dodgers are going to do, Rocky? I think the Dodgers are going to try to get Scherzer back. Braves fans, again, buckle up, because if Scherzer gets announced to the Rangers in the next hour, I think the Dodgers all of a sudden, like a lighthouse in the night, that beam is going to move to Freddie Freeman. I don't think the Yankees get Freddie Freeman, but I do think the Dodgers, if all of a sudden Seager isn't back, because it's no guarantee that Trey Turner is going to re-sign next year. As no guarantee. Some Mets hype from Oni Bars. Again, I know Mets fans, you are excited today. Good, congratulations on getting your guy. Giants will not sign Castellanos to a 7+ year contract. It's going to be tough. I don't think many people thought Simeon would get 7 years. And maybe there's only one or two teams that are desperate enough to go that length with some of these guys. The Rangers certainly one of them. Did I say Seager? I might have misspoke. Yeah, I don't see Freddie leaving Atlanta, but I do see the Dodgers becoming a player and maybe driving the Braves up. That 6th year seemed to be one of the difference makers, a deal breaker for the Braves to not getting that Freddie Freeman deal done. If all of a sudden the Dodgers have a lot of money to spend and they will go to that 6th year, maybe the Braves up their offer and go to that 6th year to try to get that deal done. Baseball domain. That will never happen. All the focus right now is on Scherzer. All of the Twitter activity from all of the main guys, Heyman and Passan and Rosenthal and Morosi, everybody talking about Scherzer and the Mets. Bryson, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, Bryson. Happy to have you here. How good is the Seager brother? So you're talking about Kyle. Kyle Seager just came off a year where he had a career high in home runs, career high in RBIs, 30 homers, 100 RBI. Good for Kyle Seager, but the problem is he hit like 200. So he got the power numbers up, but his batting average came down. He usually doesn't hit that low of a batting average. He's more of like a 230 to 240 guy. Problem is he doesn't walk a ton either, so it's not like he offsets that by, adding 100 points onto the on base and putting up a decent on base. So that's the only problem with Seager, with Kyle Seager. He's okay. If you can get Kyle Seager on a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal for, $10 million, $15 million, I think you're in good shape. If you go much beyond that, I think you're going to be overpaying. Who do I think signs next? Well, I think the big name to go next is going to be Seager. I think Corey Seager will be next. Cubs winning the World Series in 2025. Hey, man, that's the plan is in place. Went out and got a bunch of prospects. They should be peaking at that point. Make a few moves right now. Next year, bring in a free agent or two. Start building that way. I do believe there's going to be a lockout, but we do have, I guess, good news, if you want to call it that. Passan tweeting out, I guess it's maybe a half hour ago now, that the two sides, 40 minutes ago, the two sides are meeting in Texas to try to strike a new CBA before the current one expires. You got to think they know it's a PR nightmare if they don't have a deal, because then what happens once the Band-Aid's been ripped off and you have an exposed wound, it's a challenge to close the gap, if you will. Try to keep that thing on there. Rocky, Ballcap Nation Platinum member, 10 months. Thank you, my man. Rosenthal stated that Ramirez is not available in trade talks. In that case, would the Jays go pivot for Chapman or Marte? And again, Rocky, thank you for the 10 months, my man. I think Chapman makes sense for his defensive abilities. The third base spot was a hole for the Blue Jays last year. Matt Chapman can play up to MVP caliber levels, so I think Chapman would be the play. I think Marte is going to cost too much. I think Chapman isn't going to be cheap either, but I think the Diamondbacks are going to be asking for a ton back in return for Marte, because Marte has 3 years, I think the 2022, the 2023, and the 2024 season on a really good deal, like $10-11 million a year kind of thing. So they're going to want a lot for Marte. So I would probably go Chapman in that case. Again, thank you for the 10 months, Rocky. Appreciate you being a Platinum member. Again, the Platinum members get the badges. The Platinum members get the emojis, and they get the exclusive Platinum member only video. So that is out there if you want more content from the channel. I did a video a couple weeks ago where I gave my predictions for the awards, and I do owe one more for the month, 2 videos a month. I owe one more. I just haven't done it because I've been battling this virus. So I'm just dealing with that. Things have put me behind. Joey, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. How long will the lockout last? That's to continue my point from earlier, that lockout. Remember what happened with the shortened season when they finally came to an agreement on 60 games? That was a soap opera every day. Garbage here, garbage there. The two sides were fighting openly, publicly. It was terrible. that will happen again. And that will rub people the wrong way. I mean, it turned me off. I was mad, equally mad at both sides for weeks. And they finally got it going. And I'll be honest with you, it angered me. It upset me. And I don't want to go through that again. And baseball is in a great place right now with the vitality of just the sport, with the youth, with the excitement around it. Don't kill that by having the lockout, killing the news cycle, and then getting to a point, because they don't have a ton of time. Mid-February is when they would have to have it figured out, because that's when pitchers and catchers are supposed to report. And if you think for 1 second that fans won't be pissed that pitchers and catchers are delayed even by 1 day because of a labor stoppage, you're crazy. It's gonna make a lot of fans angry if they can't get this thing worked out, because it's mid-February. That will be the deadline if they go into the lockout. We don't want that. Lockouts do tend to drag out, exactly. The lockout, Natalie, the CBA is expiring. Now, what they can do, this is what they should do. You want to know what they should do? This is my opinion, what they should do. Here's Commissioner Jim for a second. Just extend it. Extend it for a year. They've done it before. Extend the current deal for another year. Try to work the deal out. Extend it. Don't enter the lockout. Extend the thing. Extend it for 12 months. Try to get it done. But in good faith, try to get it done. Just don't extend it and then forget about it, like the two sides did with Trevor Bauer's contract in his administrative leave thing. Actually try to get the deal done. I just would hate to see them get that done. I mean, if they do the lockout and we get to February 1st and they don't have a deal, then the only thing to do is I think the two sides could come to an agreement to extend it for 1 year. I don't love the idea of kicking the can down the road, but as long as they are in good faith, honestly trying to get a deal done, which if one side isn't, then you have a big problem. That's happened in baseball before, where one side accused the other side of not in good faith trying to sign free agents or get deals done or things like that, and that causes some damage. But if you get to February 1st, you don't have a deal done, I think you got to extend it. Then you got to extend it for 1 year and really try to get a deal done. They can take this time right now. They're negotiating right now. They're finding out. I mean, even if they get an offer from the other side and they view it as egregious, they know what the other side wants. So there is a conversation going. Keep that conversation going if they extend it. I don't see a salary cap ever happening. I don't think that will ever happen. I mean, they're trying their best with the luxury tax and all that other stuff. They're trying their best, but I don't think there will ever be a salary cap. The owners would be down with it. The players would never. I mean, you would miss if you want to get a salary cap. You're going to miss a full year of baseball. Dean, do the Mets go after Bryant? Story, another big name if they can't get an agreement with Baez. I do think the Mets do have one more move in them. I do think they have one more move in them. I think it could be Baez or it could be a pitcher. I think it gets narrowed to that. And I think somebody will tweet that eventually. I think we will eventually get a tweet from somebody saying that the Mets now turn their focus to re-signing Javi Baez or bringing back Marcus Stroman or, something like that. I mean, now, the Mets start to look attractive to some other players that are out there with that lineup that they put together with what they did on Friday. I love what they did on Friday. I think Mets fans, you are going to absolutely love Cabrera at third base or second base, wherever they put him. I think you're going to absolutely love him. He's going to hit 30 home runs for you. He's a great baseball player. He's a switch hitter. You absolutely love that. Mark Canha is going to be a fan favorite instantly, and Starling Marte is Starling Marte. He's a great baseball player. So the Mets, with those three moves, big moves, and I don't think they're necessarily done. Rockies now. You just want to see a team make a move that's not the Mets or Rangers. I'm with you on that. Let's get some other teams involved. Let's get the Mariners involved. Let's get the Giants involved. Let's get the Astros, the Yankees. Let's see some more. Let's get the Red Sox. DeGrom has a player option after the season. Most likely he will opt out. Do you think he breaks Scherzer's record? Yeah. No doubt. Thank you, Rocky, for the super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate the donation. Do I think that he opts out? Yes. And do I think he breaks Scherzer's record? See, the thing is, Scherzer's deal is a tight window. DeGrom will probably get more than a 2 or 3 year deal. So will he break the AAV? I don't know about that. Again, because with DeGrom, you're going to be looking for a longer deal. So you got to think, though, it'll be in the Garrett Cole neighborhood, maybe a little bit more. So maybe for DeGrom, it's like a 5 year deal at $40 million, something like that. Bryce and Jays have also shown a bit of interest in Schwarber, but right now there's teams that have bidded more than the Jays are willing to offer. Yeah, I mean, Schwarber is not a high need. Certainly somebody that would be of interest to them, would be of interest to anybody. But he's not a high need. He's not at a high need. If Schwarber could play third, if he was a good third baseman, they would be putting the full court press on Schwarber. But with his ability, he's either DH, left field, or first base. Taken right now. Now, if Grichuk gets traded or Gurriel gets traded, jump on that Schwarber bandwagon right away, or Conforto. If I had to pick, I'd probably rather have Schwarber. Maybe how's Schwarber's knees doing? The Jays could use him at catcher. Austin, do I predict any Jays news today? I would like there to be. I think if there is, it won't be. I don't think it'll be a splash. I don't see it being a splash. I think there would be smoke. There would be stuff out there. They did sign David Phelps to a minor league deal. That's the Jays news today. There is Jays news today. Robert Murray tweeting out right now, Jared Eichhoff is in agreement with the Pittsburgh Pirates pending a physical. So the Pirates have added 2 starting pitchers to this point. Pirates making some moves, bringing in some arms to eat up some innings. Jared Eichhoff going to the Pirates. Edgardo, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Happy to have you here. Natalie, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I'm on an island or if it's a not very highly populated island, but I would give Vladdy a shot at third again. I would do it. I think he's got the arm. He was a cat over there at first base this past year. I think the organization has moved on from it, and there's no shot. Again, I think I'm on an island that is not heavily populated with this opinion, but I would let Vladdy do third. I would do it. Nathan, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Kyle sucks at catcher. He can't frame. Okay. Well, you don't even have to frame anymore. It's just centering. That's what I call it. I don't even call it framing. I call it centering. If you see the pitchers, all they do is they catch the ball wherever it is, left, right, center, and just bring it back to the middle. That's not framing. That's just centering. Most catchers in baseball these days are just centering. The Blue Jays catchers are doing it. They're just centering. They're not leaving it on the dot. They're not leaving it on the black for the ump to look at it. They're pulling it back to the center. It drives me nuts. This centering technique that I feel has become big. People complaining about catchers being down on one knee. I'm not, whatever. The centering thing is what drives me crazy. And James of Flatbush, Uncle Steve has done it again. Scherzer is coming to the Mets. It's a big day for you Mets fans. Listen, if I was a Mets fan, I would be pumped about it too. Just be cautious. I guess you can't be cautious. You're in. But that money could have brought 2 players over. And again, how do the Dodgers feel about Bauer? How do you think the Yankees really, truthfully, honestly feel about Cole? Charles, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcam Nation, Charles. Glad to have you here. Joey, Vladdy loves the social game at first base. Yeah, that's a good point. He gets to chat. He gets to chat it up with everybody that comes over there. Angel, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Do you think the Phillies make any moves today? You know what, Zach? I'm going to say they do. I'm going to say the Phillies do make a move today. I think the Phillies are going to get in the mix for Castellanos, and maybe they can get that Castellanos deal done. I think the Phillies make a move. Pure speculation, but I think the Phillies do something. Brent, good call. Yeah. Vladdy did great at first base. Certainly, if he keeps doing what he did last year, he could start to get some Gold Glove nominations and maybe win one. He was great at first base. Anybody that did not see Vladdy play first base last year, I don't know if somebody's got it on YouTube. Vladdy Guerrero defensive highlights. He was great at first base. Cole is 9. Scherzer is 3. A good call there. The Cole deal, the AAV is a much bigger deal. So Scherzer is only 3. It's a good call. Do you think Rodon would be a match with the Giants? I do. And with the Giants, there was word at this point yesterday. Anthony, thank you for subscribing. There was word at this point yesterday that Gausman and the Giants, their negotiations were progressing and things were going smoothly, and then it fell apart. He didn't go to the Giants. So we know the Giants are still looking to spend money with starting pitching. So it could be Carlos Rodon, could be Marcus Stroman, could be Robbie Ray. We will see. Luis, Story to the Phillies would be nasty. That would, and that fits too. There's nothing to stop that from happening. That would be sick. I still think Story goes to Seattle. That was my prediction going back, and I'm going to stick with it. But to the Phillies would be good. Where do I think Rizzo goes? I ultimately think he ends up back with the Yankees. Rocky, I think he ends up back in New York. I don't think New York spends out to get Seager. I think that they bring back Rizzo. Charles, you're in Montreal. It's got to be chilly up there. I root for the Blue Jays. I'm a Jays fan. Savage Wolf, I'm so upset as a Dodgers fan that Scherzer signed with the Mets. Dodgers need to shift to some more pitching. Listen, all of a sudden the Dodgers look like they had too much pitching at one point. Now it's Buehler, it's Arias, and then you start to scratch your head. Bauer's uncertain. I mean, you could always go back to Bauer and say, hey, buddy, all is forgiven. Come on back, Trev. I mean, the Dodgers could still do that. And then all of a sudden that rotation looks beefy again, because then it's your 4 and 5. You're trying to figure out between Gonsolin and May and Price and other guys. So maybe the Dodgers, the Dodgers open the arms up and they, say, hey, water under the bridge. Trevor, come on back, man. We can't wait to have you. Baseball Domain, you think Story to the Yankees. FIFA 11 legend, you are annoyed with the Yankees. Yankee fans are annoyed. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. This is not the day the Yankees want to talk about it. This is one of those days where they just want to get back in bed, throw the covers over their head, because the Mets signed Scherzer, and the news on Twitter from the Yankees is that Andrelton Simmons is a potential fit, and they might say goodbye and clean their hands of Gary Sanchez. That's the news on Twitter for the Yankees saying today, with all the news going on. Not that the Yankees are progressing on a deal for Corey Seager or are close on Anthony Rizzo or looking to make a trade for Louis. No, that's not the news to start the day. To start the day, it's Andrelton Simmons and maybe bye-bye to Gary Sanchez. Why the Mets not looking to sign Stroman? L1, I think he all right, what I've seen, he wanted to go back. He was interested in going back, but the Mets were laser focused on Max Scherzer and Kevin Gausman and John Gray, and not Stroman. And Stroman saw that. Stroman made it perfectly publicly clear that the Mets were not talking to him, but they were engaged with those other pitchers, which might have, I think, has rubbed Marcus Stroman the wrong way. And I don't think the Mets probably took that very kindly either. So I think there's a disconnect there. I feel like Stroman can rub people the wrong way. He tries to go out there and say he's got the power of positivity or whatever, but still finds a way to rub people the wrong way. There was some clubhouse issues in Toronto. I didn't hear of any clubhouse issues with him with the Mets. We had the Lindor and the McNeil thing. Like, we had that. I mean, everything that was going on with the Mets was public, but there really was no Stroman issues. So I am surprised that Stroman and the Mets just seem to be separating. Maybe there was stuff out there that we didn't hear about. John Rizzo to the Blue Jays. Again, that really just depends. That depends on what happens with a trade, if Gurriel is gone or if Grichuk is gone in a trade, because then you're looking at a spot where you might want Rizzo to DH, or Vladdy and Rizzo go back and forth between first and DH. It's tough. It's not a clean move there. Hey, if you are just hanging out, 550 about in the chat. Thank you guys for spending some time here on a Monday afternoon. Hit that like if you haven't. We're at 353 likes. We're 47 likes away from 400. I think we can get there. Are there 47 likes out there? If you haven't used your like, that smash that like. If this is your favorite time of the year or one of your favorite times of the year, smash that like. Let's get this thing to 400. We jumped from 100 to 200 in about a minute. We jumped from 250 to 300 in a minute. Can we get from 350 to 400 in a minute? Let's blow by 400. Smash that like if you haven't used your like yet. Yeah, I don't see Rizzo coming to Toronto. Jason, you like Conforto to the Brewers? That's actually a good play. I think the Brewers are going to be in the mix. They have to be in the mix for some outfield help. With Avisail Garcia on the way out, they need to go do something. The pitching for the Brewers is championship quality. They need the bats to support it. Heyman tweeting, first 2 years in New York will pay him $87 million before his opt-out. John, you're not on Twitter enough? I don't understand. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Christian, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. That's the kind of stuff that annoys people. That's no news. That's just noise. That's just okay. That's yeah, we get it. It's a lot of money, right? Baseball Domain, you want a Blue Jays splash today? It could happen. I'm doubtful. 387, 13 away from 400. Let's get there. Ballcap Nation, I know you got it in you. FIFA Legend, I want Yankees to get rid of Gary, Glaber, Gardner, and Hicks. I want a completely different team. It's not working. I think your hitting coach was a big culprit in it not working, and you got a new one. Thames is out. You're bringing a new one in. Gardner's gone. I don't think they bring Gardner back. They're stuck with Hicks. Glaber is an issue. I think they should try to trade him, and they could be done with Gary. They just might straight up not offer him a contract. 8 likes away from 400. Can you please read the comment from before? What you got, Anthony? Are you kind of worried for the Mets? Because every time they sign a big-time pitcher, it seems like they get bad luck, and the guy ends up injured before the season starts. I'm not worried about that. Taijuan Walker was fine. Marcus Stroman, I get that. He was injured and missed a lot of time. I'm not worried about that. Yolanda, thank you for subscribing, Yolanda. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Simon, thank you for hitting that like. Seeking Enlightenment, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for joining our community. We do know Corey Kluber to the Rays. We were doing our starting pitching outlook, offseason outlook stream 2 weeks ago now, and that was one of my predictions, was Corey Kluber to the Rays. I've got some wrong. I've got some right. That one I'm happy to say I got correct. And we are at 403. Thank you, guys. I knew you had it in you. You guys are Ballcap Nation. You come up big. Thank you for hitting the like. I appreciate that. The support that provides the channel, is huge. So thank you for doing that. Dan Federico he is the athletic communications and PR for Mount St. Vincent, whatever. He's a verified account with 11,000 followers. He tweeted out, Baseball Domain tweeting this at me, not saying any other teams aren't possible, but after asking around, the consensus seems to be the Rangers for Corey Seager. So that is what we are watching for next. Rangers and Seager. Will that get done? Will that get done while we are live here, or are we going to have to come back later? We might. We'll see. Where do I think Stroman will end up? I think St. Louis is a real possibility. There's been a lot of smoke around potentially going to St. Louis. I think that's a real possibility. Do you think the Pirates trade Jacob Stallings? I know that's out there. If they can get a good return, they might as well. They're not going in any direction. Jacob Stallings is a good piece. Get a good return. He's a great defensive catcher. I don't mind the pop for his bat. I was joking on Twitter earlier today about about the Yankees. Patrick, thank you for subscribing. I was joking on Twitter about the Yankees non-tendering Gary Sanchez in favor of Jacob Stallings, which, listen, if you think about that like 2 years ago, Gary Sanchez was supposed to be the next big offensive catcher in baseball. He showed that he could do it, but defensively he's terrible, and his offense has sputtered. To be at that point, not to take anything away from Jacob Stallings. Jacob Stallings is a very good catcher. I think Yankee fans, you would love Jacob Stallings. The consistency he can give you, he's got an okay bat. He's a great defensive catcher. But to be at the point where they're just going to not give Gary Sanchez a contract and they're going to try to trade for Jacob Stallings is crazy. I hope the Pirates get a good return. Kyle, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcat Nation. Kyle Dillard. Emmanuel Munoz, 2 of the 4 best shortstops available now. Everyone's spending like George except for his son Hal. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees, it's because the Yankees have already spent. They've already spent, and they've got more coming down the pipe. Besides the Angels, Jim, are there any other teams desperate for pitching? Desperate like the Angels. I don't know if there's anybody desperate like the Angels. The Giants still need to add some starting pitching. The Giants starting pitching right now is Webb, Descalfani, and Beatty because I don't think the Wood deal is finalized. It might be finalized by now, but Wood is going to get done. They were kicking the tires on Cobb, so the Giants could probably use 1 or 2 more starters. There's a lot of teams that could use another starter. I don't think anybody is as desperate as the Angels, though. Andy Martino tweeting out, and I've been talking about this for weeks on the channel. The trade market isn't very active right now. The focus is on free agency. Of course. Why would you trade away prospects, something that nobody wants to do right now? Why would you trade away prospects if you can still answer your need with free agency? And that's where we're at. That's why Matt Olson isn't going to get traded anytime soon. That's why you're not going to see a Castillo trade or Sonny Gray or any of those Oakland players get traded or Ketel Marte or J-Ram, because teams can still get their need taken care of via free agency. When Freddie Freeman is off the board and Rizzo's off the board and Bryant's off the board and Story's off the board and Seager's off the board, then you start to see J-Ram and Ketel Marte and Matt Olson trade rumors ramp up. Better value, Conforto or Soler? I would actually probably lean Conforto. Who would be better for the Brewers? I'll stick with Conforto. I don't see bias to the Jays. Paul, it's good to see you back. Does Gausman's second half of the season scare you? It does not. Now, will he pitch as good as he did in the first half? Maybe not. Do we land somewhere in the middle? I think so. And I'm okay. And I feel like that's good. If we got a guy who puts up an ERA of 3, low 2s to sort of 3.10, I take that. Especially, he's a strikeout pitcher. He'll strike out the Yankee and Red Sox bats. He'll get the Rays hitting ground balls. I like the mix that Kevin Gausman has. And Kevin Gausman, we're not bringing him in. Jays fans, keep this in mind. You're not bringing Kevin Gausman in to be the sole number one. You've also got Jose Barrios. You've got Hyunjin Ryu, who I think has another good year in him. And you've got Alek Manoah, who's looking like he's turning into a star. And you could still develop Nate Pearson. So the Blue Jays, if all of the hopes were resting on Kevin Gausman, then I would be worried. But Kevin Gausman is a piece of the rotation that is looking pretty good. What do I think the Jays do about second and third base? I think Kevin goes to second, Jackson, and I think third base they're going to have to either go get in the mix for Chris Bryant or make a trade. Or hey, you know what? Maybe if they can't get the trade, if it's too much, they can't get Chris Bryant because Chris Bryant wants to play outfield somewhere. Maybe the Blue Jays, maybe it's Jordan Groshans' time. Who knows? Maybe it is Jordan Groshans' time. Bryson, I would love. I want Kevin Biggio back at second base. I think we get Kevin Biggio back. I think Kevin Biggio gets back to that 375 OPS with 20 home runs. Very productive hitter. If you have him at the top of the lineup, I think he can score 100 runs. If you have him lower in the lineup, I think he'll be productive. I want Kevin Biggio to get second base back. Angels should push for Stroman. Yes, they should. No doubt about it. That's what's next after Scherzer. What's next? And it doesn't look like it's going to be Robbie Ray, but it could be Stroman. Though we haven't really heard much about Stroman. That's the thing about the starting pitchers. All of the starting pitchers that we had the most heat on was Scherzer, was Gausman, was John Gray. They've all signed. It's been relatively quiet about Rodon, about Stroman, and now that could be because of the fact that these deals needed to get done first. And now, there's a market precedent set for Robbie Ray and for Marcus Stroman, and now maybe some of those deals pick up. But it's going to be hard to pick those deals up now, considering we've got this deadline looming. Mark Feinsand tweeting out 4 minutes ago, 2 executives believe Corey Seager will sign today. Javi Baez could also... Oh, come on. Where did it go? Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Javi Baez could also get done before the end of the day. Max Scherzer's deal is only the start of what could be a busy Monday. Yes, yes, yes. I don't think Suzuki's going to sign before the deadline. I think Kenley Jansen probably gets a 3-year deal, probably AAV around $20 million. Lily 1, don't like the Gausman deal. I don't like giving a big deal to a pitcher who's really only had one good year. I mean, it's fair. He did do well with the Braves when the Braves traded for him. Now, he did not do well the following year when he started the next year, the year he was traded from Baltimore to Atlanta. He pitched well with Atlanta, then started the next year with Atlanta and was not good. But I do think Kevin Gausman's a different pitcher now. The Blue Jays have had interest in Gausman. Pete Walker likes Kevin Gausman. They tried to get him last year, 3-year deal, didn't get it done. This year, they spend a little bit more on him, so they have interest. They like Kevin Gausman. I do agree that Castillo won't be going anywhere. Yeah, I think it'll be about $20 million. What did Liam Hendricks get last year? Let's look up Liam Hendricks' contract because that'll be the benchmark for Raisel Iglesias and for Kenley Jansen. So Liam Hendricks is making $13 million this year, $14 million next year. So let's say, think about inflation. Let's say $15 million. So maybe $20 million is a bit much. Let's say $15 million. Yeah, I don't think the Jays are going to get in on Kimbrel. I really don't think the Jays are going to be active in the closer market. I just don't see it. Who replaces Simeon's bat? That is to be seen. Listen, here, remember this, Jason. Anybody thinking about Simeon and him being gone from Toronto? Remember that who's going to replace some of Simeon's production? George Springer will. George Springer last year played how many games? I'm going to look it up real quick. George Springer played in 78 games last year. So George Springer just being healthy will be part of the replacement. Kevin Biggio, if you put him back at second base, can get it done. I'm a believer in Kevin Biggio, and they could still try to make a move to improve the third base spot, whether it's going out and getting Chris Bryant, making a trade for Chapman or J-Ram, or maybe they make a smaller trade. Listen, I don't think J.D. Davis is going to get anybody excited, but maybe J.D. Davis, if the Mets are looking to move off of him. J.D. Davis is okay last year, a 285 average. He's all right. 2019, J.D. Davis, 22 home runs, a 307 average. I don't know about J.D. Davis in the field, but then you've also got, maybe Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio Suarez, if you can go back to 2019 Suarez, in 2018 and 2017 Suarez, then you got a good player. Whatever happened to him these last 2 years, I don't know, but there's options out there. There are options out there. Ray today, I don't think so. He hasn't even met with the Angels. That was the word last night. Maybe he'll meet with the Angels today, but I guess you could still have deals tomorrow. The deadline is Wednesday at midnight. So we'll see. I'm not big on Espinal at third base. I like Espinal, defensive player, move him around. I'm for the championship level offense that I want the Blue Jays to build. Already, there's kind of a problem when Danny Jansen's in the lineup. You're going to throw Espinal in the lineup as well. I just don't want to do it. Are the Phillies going to do anything, Kenny? I do believe they will. Nothing on the Twins. The only thing we had on the Twins was last night that Robbie Ray was on their radar. Mets, Knicks, Bory. Please, somebody take Davis, McNeil, and Smith. Give us power bullpen arms. I think the Blue Jays will take one of those guys. I know Dom Smith had a bad year last year. I don't know why. Why does everyone trashing Jeff McNeil all of a sudden? Mets fans, why is Jeff McNeil all of a sudden trash? Because he didn't hit 300 for the first time in his career last year? 2018, 329. 2019, 318. 2020, 311. Last year, 251. And we're already crapping on him? I don't understand why Jeff McNeil all of a sudden is trash. Somebody tell me why he's trash. James, I do not think Gallo's going to get moved. Joey Gallo is a relatively cheap option for the Yankees. He's just in the arbitration years. He's a Gold Glove outfielder. I think Joey Gallo is going to have a nice season for the Yankees. I'm saying it right now. Joey Gallo is back next year with the Yankees having a good season. I think you get the new hitting coach. I think Gallo gets on track. A lot of people want the Cardinals to focus on shortstop. Listen, after the big names, then you go down to the next tier. It's Andrelton Simmons and Freddie Galvis, and then after that, it's not much. So there isn't a whole lot there, quite frankly. You guess that he's getting hurt a lot? I mean, let's see. 63 games in 2018, that's when he came up. 133 games in 2019, 133 out of 162. 2020, he played 52 out of 60. This last year, 120 out of 160, and everybody was hurt. You can't give Jeff McNeil a hard time about being hurt when everybody gets hurt on the Mets. Maybe it's not a Jeff McNeil problem. Maybe it's a medical personnel problem. Maybe it's a quality control problem. I don't think it's a Jeff McNeil problem. Everybody gets hurt on the Mets. Do I like Chapman or Jansen better? We're talking about closers, Aroldis Chapman or Kenley Jansen? I would probably stick with Aroldis Chapman. If I'm just picking between those two, who do I like better? I'd probably say Chapman. I don't think Freddie Galvis is going to go back to Toronto. Nah. What do we have happening on Twitter? Breakout of the Mats deal. 8, 10, 12, and 12. That's not a bad deal. That's a good deal. 8, 10, 12, and 12. That's a good deal. Jays fans, when you do that, would you have done that? Steven Matz, would you? That's not a bad deal. That does not set you back at all. You have Matz and you have Gausman. That's a good deal. I would hate for Toronto to miss out on everybody because there's one more year. They offer 3 for Matz, or they offer 5 for Simeon, or they offer 5 for Ray, and Ray wants. I would hate for the Jays to miss out because they won't go the extra year. I mean, that Matz contract's not bad. 8, 10, 12, and 12. That's the annual breakout with some incentives if he can hit 130, 140, 150, 160, 170 innings, and then some incentives for All-Star and Cy Young finishes. It's not a bad deal. Rob, I do not see Stroman going back to the Blue Jays. Don't see it happening. Castellanos to the White Sox, I don't see it. The outfield's full. Do I think the Angels will surprise you and trade for Castillo? I do think they could do that. I don't know if I would do that, though. The Angels don't have a deep farm system as it is. And, maybe if you could flip Reed Detmer straight up for Castillo, you would do it. But I think the Reds want more. What do you have from Feinstein? 2 executives believe Corey Seager will sign today. Yep, we can see that from Feinstein. Oh, I'm looking at that from like 10 minutes ago. Again, if you see something, say something, tweet it at me. If you follow me while we are live streaming, I will follow you back. That's a rule that I have, and you can see my Twitter handle up there now. Kyle, I trust the front office. They know what they're doing. I agree with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you, but I like Matz, man. I don't know. Listen, the rotation right now, the setup, you give Nate Pearson a shot, and if Nate Pearson isn't ready, you start him in the bullpen, you give Stripling the number 5 spot, and you bring Pearson along. If Pearson can be lights out, then you have Pearson as your 5. The rotation for the Jays with this, as we are set up, I'm not going to say I'm down on it. But when I see those Mats numbers, I'm like, damn, that's a pretty good deal. Paul, I don't know if Kirk alone would bring in another starter, but I do think that Kirk is trade bait. He has some value. I do think Kirk is trade bait. I did see that they brought in Phelps. Kyle tweeted that out. I think it was Kyle. Or Kyle brought that to the chat, that they signed Phelps on a minor league deal. It's good minor league deal. Bryson, you feel like Stroh is going to be a Giant? I mean, makes sense. Stroman's money's got to be in the ballpark for Gausman's money. And if the Giants were walking down the road with Gausman on a contract, you got to think that they'd be interested in Stroman. Now, can they pivot quick enough to get a deal done today or tomorrow morning and then get the physical done? That's the question. Because you probably you want to scout them, you got to talk to people, move around the industry. Stroman's a guy that, you probably do want to talk to some people in the industry about him. Out the Crib Customs, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Jonah, welcome back. Trade Anthony, I don't want anything to do with Rendon. I don't want anything to do with that contract right now. I don't want anything to do with it. Eddie Rosario, right field for the White Sox would look good. It's a good call. I agree with you on that. Can the Angels sign Robbie Ray? I think they can. The Brooks Raley deal to the Rays is a 2-year deal. Kirk in a package? Yeah, exactly. Kirk in a package for Ramirez is what we're looking at. That is what we're looking at. Over 500 in the chat. Thank you guys for spending your time today. We're at 430 likes. Do we have 20 more likes to get to 450? Are there 20 viewers out there that have not used your like yet? If this is one of your favorite times of the year, hit that like, smash that like. Let's get from 430 to 450 in the snap of a finger. If you haven't used your like yet, let's jump this thing up to 450. Let's rev the engine and get it up to 450. The Jays will get a big guy before the lockout. We'll see. We will see. I mean, they could get in the Baez. I mean, we have heard nothing about Baez. We've heard nothing about that. Max Muncy injury. Tyler, thank you for tweeting this at me. Max Muncy revealed injury details to Alana Rizzo on MLB Network just now. I'm not recovering as quick as I would like, but that's what happens when you do some serious damage to your body. A torn UCL is a slow process. Yeah, I mean, question, you just want him back. You just want him back. Tyler, thank you, man, for the start of the, for spring training, for the start of the season. Who's not going to sign today, Gabe? I think there will be, I think a lot of those. Let's focus on the big names, who I don't think are going to sign. I don't think Robbie Ray will sign today. I do think we get Baez. I do think we get Seager. I think Rodon could sign today. Who else do I think won't? I don't think Robbie Ray will. Who else do we think won't sign? Ivan, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, my friend. Welcome to our community. Thank you for subscribing. I could see Carlos Correa messing this thing up and not signing today. Carlos Correa wants a ton of money, and it doesn't look like people want to give it to him. Freddie Freeman you got to think Freddie's going to get done. I don't think Rizzo gets done today. I don't think Bryant gets done today. I don't think Schwarber gets done today. I don't think Nelson Cruz gets done today. Or Kershaw. Those are some of the deals that I don't think will get done. Conforto probably not going to get done today. Yeah. I don't know if Suzuki signs today. There's a lot that has to go into that. And I got to think getting the physical done for him would be hard. That would be quite an undertaking to try to get his physical done in time with the deadline. So I could see Suzuki not getting done. Phil, good to see you back, my friend. Happy to have you in here again. What kind of effect does Barrios being Baez's brother have in him coming? Brother? Like what? Brother-in-law? What? What did I miss? Got me Googling now. Oh, I did not. How did I miss that? They are brother-in-law. Maybe. Don't get me excited, Phil. Phil, don't do this to me. Don't get me excited. I would actually kind of, dude, I just got a tingle, the thought of Javi Baez playing second base for the Jays. I just got a tingle. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Phil. There's been no Baez to the Blue Jays, talk. Don't do this. You're going to be excited. Raul, thank you for the super chat. If you were the Jays, would you trade for Pablo Lopez? Not yet. Not yet. There's still a ton of arms available in the free agent market. Not yet. I would rather have... Listen, again, we're talking about islands that I'm on and maybe not a big island. I'm okay. Like, I would rather have Michael Pineda not have to give up any prospects and just put Michael Pineda at that 4 or 5 spot in the rotation because Michael Pineda give you decent innings. Pablo Lopez, I think the asking price. I don't want to give up Alejandro Kirk for Pablo Lopez if I could keep Alejandro Kirk and then just sign, who the hell was I just talking about? Pineda for 1 year, $8 million. Do they share the same agent? Phil coming in with hard-hitting facts. Phil, they have the same agent. I mean, maybe they want to play together. He wanted to play with Lindor. Is there something here? That'd be something. Jeff in the zone, what's up? Welcome in. Everybody, if you're just finding the channel for the first time, I don't think I've brought this up once. I know I've got that thing there, but subscribe if you're new, if you're just finding the channel. If baseball is one of your things, which I think it's got to be if you're here hanging out, waiting for hot stove news like me, make sure to subscribe. Stay close to the channel. Baseball content is being pumped out constantly, streaming live when big news is going on, and just coming up with stuff, creating content either based on what's out there or, thinking up some baseball stories. Baseball content's what we're all about here. So make sure to subscribe if you're just finding the channel for the first time. Does Gausman make the Jays a force? He alone does not, but you add him into that mix. Yeah. I think the Jays, Red Sox fans, Yankees fans, you might think I'm delusional. I go Rays, I go Jays, and the Yankees and Red Sox are battling for that third spot. That offense, another step forward with Bo and Vladdy. I'm not saying Vladdy's going to outdo what he did last year, but can you see it again? I think we could. You get a full year with George Springer healthy. You get Kevin Biggio back in there. Maybe one of the prospects comes up and makes an impact. They're not done. They're going to make more moves. I think the bullpen is solid. I went through yesterday and I sort of picked positionally between Red Sox and Blue Jays players. If I'm going on the 9, I'm picking more Blue Jays off the field than I am Red Sox. And with the Yankees have some issues they got to deal with. The Yankees can fall out of bed tomorrow and without even trying win 90 games. The problem is, can they fix up some of the issues? Will a full year with Severino be what's needed to get done? I think that could be important. A new hitting instructor, can he get better production out of these bats? Can they strike out less? Yeah, they hit a ton of home runs, but they weren't hitting singles. I mean, yeah, no, that might sound silly. Singles. We're talking about singles? Rod, thank you for subscribing. But they were one of the worst teams in terms of just total number of hits in the American League last year. One of the best in home runs, top 5 in home runs, one of the worst in hits. So what that meant was solo homers. Get people on base. Hit some singles and then hit the home run. So they need to do more. They need to get a hitting instructor that can get them right. Oh, I would love D going to the Jays. When the Jays picked up, who did they pick up last year late? It was Dyson, Gerard Dyson. I love a guy like that on the team. That's not something they usually have. Love the idea of either bringing Gerard Dyson back or signing D Gordon or something like that. Would love that. All quiet on the free agent front. It's probably just going to be insane tonight. It is probably going to be insane. The Blue Jays this past year won 91 games. They went 91-71 and missed the playoffs. Yay. Angels laying Duffy. That'd be a fine move for them. Some depth to that rotation that they could use. I think the Angels actually have the depth. So the better play would be to try to get a big name to insert to the top of that rotation with Ohtani and Syndergaard. You don't know what you're going to get from Syndergaard yet until you get to spring training and the season starts. You don't know. So you got Syndergaard. You got Ohtani at the top. You don't need depth because they've got like 7 or 8 starters as it is. You need to get a name. I wouldn't do Duffy. Seriously, if I'm the Angels, I'm going after Ray. I'm going after Stroman. I'm going after Rodon. That's what I'm going for if I'm the Angels. Adding more depth where there's already depth, you get to a point where you're wasting money. Dawson, I don't see Stroh to the Jays. I don't see it happening. I still think Correa, I still put Detroit as the favorite for Correa. I think his asking price comes down. Stroman to the Red Sox, that could play. Phil, according to a few sources, Baez might be headed for 4 or 5 years and slightly over $20 million for each year. That sounds about right. Though, I got to think he wants to go more than that. I mean, if he goes for, you almost want to, if you're him, you almost want to get out of that deal quick enough to the point. So you go 4 years instead of 5. So that way you come out of that deal, you're in your early 30s. You can try to get another big contract. Raul, I wouldn't mind Corey Dickerson coming back. He's a nice piece. Lyndon, do I see JD to the Jays? JD, who are we talking about? JD. I'm not talking JD Martinez, are you? Who JD? Yeah, Ivan, I do think the White Sox are going to use Kimbrel as trade bait. 100%. That's the other thing. Good. I mean, you got the call on, Matt Olson to the Yankees. Right now, that's not a bad play. Give up the prospects. They've got the pieces to do it. And it wouldn't cost him a ton of money because he's in the arbitration. He's in arbitration right now. Oh, Josh Donaldson. Yeah, I would love Josh Donaldson back with the Blue Jays, but I want the Twins to eat some of that salary. I wouldn't want to get Donaldson and have to take all of that money. I want the Twins to eat some of that salary. So we get Josh Donaldson. We give up, a prospect in that 10 to 15 range, so that way the Twins will take some of that money. That's what I would want. I would be all about that. I don't think it happens until the season starts, so that is not something the Blue Jays can plan for because that will be dependent upon the Twins getting to June 1st and being 10 games below 500. That's the only way that happens. Chris, I see you on Twitter. Do I think the Jays are done, or do they have some big moves coming yet? I don't think they're done. I don't know if they get anything done today, though. I don't know, Chris, if you're in here or if you're just messaging me on the side on Twitter. JD Davis, if they can get him for cheap. Luis Dominguez, thank you for the donation. Appreciate your super chat. Thank you, Luis. Thank you for that. Thank you. There's my thank you. Covers up my head. Headless Jim. Did the Jays make any big splash before December 1st? I don't know I don't think the Jays have a splash coming. There would be some indicators, right? With Javi Baez, there would be you would have seen the Jays linked to him. You would have seen this stuff. There's nothing. It would come out of nowhere. And at this point, for the 12-1 deadline to come out of nowhere seems like a long shot. Charles, I hope the season starts on time. We were talking about that. It's got to be full. It's got to start on time. If they get to February 1 and they haven't worked out a new deal, they need to just extend the current deal for 12 months. Just extend the deal for a calendar year. Try to work something out. Don't just kick the can down the road. Honestly, actually try to extend it. But they cannot miss time. Mets have signed a bunch of good players, for sure. Let's see. Michael, what's up, man? Just ran into the channel. Where do you think CT3, Seager, Jansen, Kershaw are going, or who's staying? All for the Dodgers, obviously. I think the Dodgers are going to bring back... I think there's a good chance now the Dodgers bring back Kershaw on a one-year deal. I think the Dodgers are going to have a good chance at bringing Taylor back. Seager, I think the Dodgers, it's going right. Listen, if Seager goes to the Rangers, then I think the Dodgers might just go in one swoop, bring Taylor, Jansen, and Kershaw back in one shot. Yeah, the Midwest Sports, I think the Jays made their splash last night. Thank you for finding the channel. Anybody just finding the channel for the first time, thank you for taking some time, hanging out with us. Appreciate that. Welcome in. If you like baseball, make sure to subscribe, stay close to the channel. That's what we do. Who should the Cardinals sign to be contenders? Look, I love the Mats deal that the Cardinals got. You got 5 Gold Glovers on defense. The team, I think, was hampered by the coaching last year. I was not a Mike Schilt guy. I think I was the first. I was the one and only person that was talking about Mike Schilt getting fired before they went on a run, and it ended up happening. So, was not a Mike Schilt guy. I think he hampered them. I know you don't like Sosa or DeYoung there. You want an upgrade. Story sounds great. I just don't know if they're going to spend that money. If they're going to spend the money Do it right. Sure, go get Trevor Story. We'll see what happens. But I think the Cardinals are going to be contenders in that division anyway. I do think the Braves are going to bring back Freddie Freeman, Armand, for sure. I think the Angels, we don't have any whispers, any smoke, any news, any rumors, anything on Marcus Stroman right now. Angels sound like a good fit, but there's nothing right now. Thank you, Charles. I would like Chris Taylor on the Blue Jays for sure. Great player. Roger, I don't think Donaldson is finished. Is Donaldson still peak Donaldson? Probably not. But can Josh Donaldson hit 30 home runs this year? I think so. He's just got to stay healthy, which is a big, big piece. Dodgers need pitching. Any word on the pitcher from Oakland? There's no Oakland. All of the trade rumors are died down right now. And Andy Martino from out of New York said that there's no action on the trade market because of all the free agents that are available. Nobody's willing to make a trade or put out a bunch of prospects if you can fill the need with the free agents that are available. Everybody in the chat, we are only 6 likes away from 500. 6. Are there 6 of you out there that have not used your like? That smash that like. Let's blow by 500. Let's put 500 in the rearview mirror. Let's blow by it. Hit that like if you haven't hit the like yet. Matt Boyd could be a Pete Walker reclamation project. If he doesn't get that contract, I love that idea, Hassan. Albert Pujols, Armand, I think he goes back to Cardinals 1-year deal, does the DH thing, does the retirement tour. That's where I think the Cardinals and Albert Pujols fit together. Thought on Kyle Schwarber, I think it makes perfect sense for the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox need to get Schwarber back. It did go quiet. I think he's going to pick up later, though. I don't know if the Royals are going to make any moves. They have so much young pitching. You might as well let that develop. They made a lot of moves last offseason. You might as well just leave that, let it run back. 520 likes, guys. Thank you, everybody that just hit the like in the last minute. Blow past the 500 or 520. Thank you. Matt Boyd is not a free agent yet, but the word is that the Tigers are not going to offer him a contract, and he will become a free agent. I do believe Gallo is a good player. All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the watch on hold. I got to go rest up a little bit for what I think is going to be a crazy night. Everybody that has hit the like and subscribed in the last, during this stream, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming in there. I am going to be back. Make sure to subscribe, hit the alert, come on back. I'm going to be back because we are going to be watching for Seager, Castellanos, Story, and more. We've been going for 2.5 hours here. I got to take a break, but I am going to be back, you guys. So hit the alert, come on back when we're back live, and we will do this thing some more. So let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to, Charles, we're going to have to put 600 on ice. You guys, if you haven't hit the like yet, make sure to hit the like on the way out. I appreciate you all coming in. I will be back again later today. There will be another live stream today. We'll be talking about the other players that are on the board. Scherzer kind of dominated the moment. It's been quiet since then. Seager, Castellanos, Story. If you start to hear rumblings that a deal is close, that means that I'm probably back on. So make sure to come back again. Hit the like on the way out if you haven't hit the like yet. Thank you, guys. I hope you're able to come back. Thank you, guys. Again, I appreciate everything. You guys are great. You were awesome today. Ballcat Nation, I salute you. Thank you very much. Stay close to the channel. We'll be back when we start to see some more stuff heat up. So stay close, everybody, and I will check with you guys later on.